Welcome to Noggin Comics. This is going to be the first of 3 episodes that we do for C2E2 2024. We're going to have my comic haul, we're going to have Nora's comic haul, and then we're going to have an uncanny comic haul. We've got a lot of X-Men books to go through, but first, we're going to go through my comic haul. Now, C2E2 was a great show. Every time we do C2E2, it is one of the best shows that we've been to. This is the first time I've been to C2E2 in 4 years. We went there with Adam Bungard from Atomic Lunchbox and Tim, the owner of Granite City. As you can tell in the videos, we were there before the gates open, before the doors open, and we've got a lot of video we're going to show you. We're going to cut that up between the 3 videos. But yeah, let me dive into my comic haul. For this comic haul, one of the most important things to us is Artist Alley and supporting independent creators. So we're going to start off with the first of this comic haul being Independent and Artist Alley finds. Now, this first book is from Michael Kingston, who does Headlocked Comics. Behind me in the closet, I think I've got the majority of the books that he's done for Headlocked. But this is the one book that we did not have. And this is stories. None of us are connected. It's all individual stories from wrestlers such as Adam Cole, Amy Dumas, Lita, Andrade, Dirty Dango, who's Fandango, the Inspiration, who is the Iconics, actually, the Iconics from WWE, Jay White, Powerhouse Hobbs, and Trinity Fatu, who is Naomi. So yeah, I had to get this book, but that is not the only wrestling book that we got for this trip. We'll get to that in about 2 more trades. We met these guys at Twin City Con back in November. They're called Fair Square Comics, and they just released this book. I'm about to show you. They released it last Wednesday, actually, and it's called A Fox in My Brain. It is a book about mental health. It is, I want to say it's a YA book. If you can tell by the artwork, it's very much of that YA coming of life type of book. I think he's the president or owner of Fair Square Comics, Fabrice, sold me on this book instantly as he was explaining to it. It touched home. We had to buy it. I wouldn't be surprised if Nora and I talk about this book again. One more book that we got from Fair Square Comics is a sequel or a collection of short stories, I believe, from a book that they came out with a couple months ago, maybe last year, called Watson and Holmes. And this is called Watson and Holmes, A Scandal in Harlem. Basically, the premise is what if Watson and Holmes were African American and they took place in Harlem. The first book is fantastic. I loved it. I had to get this instantly. I love the fact that Fair Square Comics is mostly all BIPOC books. Uh, they do have a few books that kind of aren't BIPOC focused, like Some Vikings, which takes the concept of Vikings and zombies, which I'm a Minnesota Vikings fan, so I instantly got that book. And I love zombies. Enjoyed that book to hell. So I had to finish it though, so I think I'm an issue behind on that. The next 5 books? Yeah, the next 5 is from an independent publisher called Evina. Evina Comics. I think they're based out of Chicago. I could be wrong. But they were posting a lot on Instagram. And 3 of the books caught my attention, but these 2 I didn't even know existed. And the first one is Devil in the Review. It kind of has that like noir feel to it. Both Nora and I think it's like a horror noir. Both Nora and I was like, don't judge a book by its cover, but we kind of did because like that's a cool cover. We have to buy that. This next one is kind of indigenous horror, which I'm a huge fan of, and this is called Starved Rock. I read this. This is one of the few books I've actually read from C2E2, and I actually enjoyed this, and it's continuing, and I can't wait to see where this goes. Let me know if you guys ever heard of these guys because they're actually pretty damn good. Which reminds me, in the comment section of this video, let me know if you attend the C2E2, if you ever attend the C2E2, and what's your experience like at this show, because Nora and I, we love this show. Earlier in the video I said we always have a great time at the show. We always come home, it's way too much, and that is why this is going to be 3 videos long. But continuing with Evina Comics, it's 3 wrestling books. Surprise! I mean, I love wrestling, so. And this is Lucha Forever. This is gonna be funny. La Rona. It's another wrestling book. It's 2 issues here. That was the second one. This is the first one. They had a cosplay variant, and the person that was cosplaying as his character was actually there, signing the book. She was super ecstatic that people were having interest in this book, and I won't be surprised if we talk about those 3 books on upcoming episodes of Wrestling with Issues. The next 2 independent books, and then we're gonna dive into 2 books and then 4 big books that we got. One of them is a grail that Nora surprised me with, and you're gonna watch the video of my shocked face when I opened up this box. But the next comic is an ash can from Bad Ideal. Bad Ideal is coming back. They had a panel. They talked about the books that they have coming out, and the slate looks pretty damn good. I think we have all the comics that Bad Ideal released. There's only one shop in the state that carries Bad Ideal, so it would be interesting to see the future of that publisher. But during the panel, they gave this ash can for All My Friends Are Flowers. Nothing really happens in this book except for a flower eats a person. That's it. Maybe this is a good idea. Who knows? And the last book that we got in Artist Alley is from a guy who we felt very stupid talking to. Not in a bad way. This guy sold out of a book that we wanted. It was called A Haunted House, a Love Story. It looked amazing. but due to our inability to make a decision, on Saturday when we went to his table to buy the book, he sold out. But he gave us his card. So every time that he gives his card out, he draws a character of your choosing. And we decided to pick Magic. But I also decided to pick up a book there. I felt like a jackass. So I wanted to support the guy. So he had a book called No Happy Endings in Rapture. And if you're a fan of BioShock, this is his take on BioShock. Let me show you what his Big Daddy looks like. And he gave a remark of Big Daddy. But the artwork is really good in here. So I couldn't pass this up. This looks like a phenomenal read. It makes me want to go play BioShock again. Now, that was it of the independent creators that I picked up. In Nora's video, she has a few books that she picked up from Silver Sprocket, who I was surprised that I read books from in the past. They had a hell of a presentation at C2E2, and that is why Nora had to pick up a few of their books, which she'll be talking about in her Comic Haul video. Now, if you stay in tune, just hold up for a little bit because we're about to show you one of the biggest books that we've had in our collection, a grail that I've been wanting for a few years now. But before we get there, I got some comics to show you still. Now, I said that we have an uncanny Comic Haul video, but that doesn't mean that there's no X-Men here. I had to pick up this graphic novel-ish size. It's called X-Men Bishop, the Mountjoy Crisis. I never knew it existed. I tried finding it in ZOZ, didn't want to scan, so I had to type the book in, and it finally came up. Not under Marvel, though, which shocked me. And the next book that we have here, the next book is one of the few DC books outside, well, I said DC books, but there is some DC stuff that we'll be talking about very shortly here. But this is The House of Mystery 281, and I just had to get this because of the cover. I love wrestling. I love boxing. There's some UFC martial art comics that we have, mixed martial art comics like Kill a Man. I love that book. So you're mixing horror and physical sports? Yeah, I'm gonna buy this book. It says $3, and I got it for $1. But before I hop into the 4 big books that we got, 3 of them are exclusives to the convention, and 1 is a classic. But before hopping into that, I want to talk about an event that we did. We went to the St. Jude's Art Auction charity event. Tim from Granite City kind of dragged us there. He was talking how great this show is, how awesome and fun doing a charity event is. And honestly, he's not lying. We had a blast. It was the highlight of the trip, next to meeting Tara Strong. But and the book that Nora got me. But I didn't know about this book until after this art auction. Now you may be asking, did you buy anything at this auction? And the answer to that is yes. We got 2 original art pieces. One is interior art, and the other is a sketch. The sketch that we got is from Marco Andolfo, who did an amazing Lobo, and I could not say no to this. And it didn't go for a huge price at all. It went for very cheap, and that is why it came home with us. And the other piece that we got at this auction is interior art by Nicola Scott for Birds of Prey. And one of the coolest things about this interior art is that when you flip it on back, Nicola Scott sketched this whole thing out on back. And you get almost like she used it as a reference for it. It's a great page. Once again, went way cheap and had to bring it home. But that was our haul at the art auction. Now for the final 4 books of my comic haul. So these three of these books came from Bird City Comics. And the first one is a beautiful, beautiful cover from Jenny Frison and his Batgirl. They had quite a few of these. They had a Josh Middleton one. The Joshua Middleton one was really cool, but we loved Jenny Frison, and Frison was there, so we had to get it signed. And the next two people were at the show as well, but they were also at Bird City Comics booth, and that is Tony Fleets and Trish Forstner, who did Pharaoh. And here's the 1 in 100 Fourier variant that we had to pick up. I had them sign it. And the next one is an homage to It. Now, if you read Stray Dogs, you know that they did homage covers to classic horror movies. So this was a had to buy. And I love the fact that they use, like, the funny thing is that they had all these little pens, all these little markers, and whatever book that you bought, they specifically signed it in that color. And, like, you know, the green pops off on that, the red pops off. Excuse me. The red pops off on this one. But I'm going to real quickly show you a video, and then we're going to talk about this book.
Wow, you are the worst ever.
Okay, so I got you a birthday present. Why don't you open it up?
Holy shit.
What is it?
Too much Dracula.
Don't look at the back. Let's show the camera. Whoa. All right.
Here it is. Tomb of Dracula #1. Nora surprised me with it. We went to C2E2 for my 32nd birthday. I didn't expect anything out of it. And I think thanks to Adam, she found a really good copy. Adam's a presser, and he said that he might press this, which, honestly, go ahead, because this book, maybe I might send it to get graded finally. I've never sent a book in to get graded, but I love Tomb of Dracula. I love Blade, and Nora got the perfect gift for my birthday. But that was my comic haul from C2E2. Nora's got quite a bit. I'm looking at a full table full of books that Nora picked up, and all the Uncanny X-Men that we picked up at C2E2. But before you leave, hit that like button. Hit that like button, and we can make more content for you guys. Subscribe. We want to get more subscribers. We want to do a giveaway for you guys. So once we hit 250, who knows? We might do a giveaway. Hit 500, who knows? And comment. Have you ever been to C2E2, and what was the experience like? But until then, see you at the comic shop, and have a good night.